Hi everyone, it's Nell with Little Yellow House Crafts. It's been a month and so I'm back. I mentioned that I thought I might do a video at the beginning of March, but since it was only 2 weeks after my last video, I wasn't sure I was going to have enough. I actually had plenty, but then we went on vacation. My little sister got married this past Saturday. Congratulations, Paige. And so we were out in Utah with family for her wedding, and it was wonderful, and it was so beautiful, and I cried a lot. So she's off on her honeymoon with her new husband, and we're so happy to welcome him to the family, and we did just get back yesterday, so I'm sorry for the dark circles and the super casual look we have going on today. We're recovering from traveling and being on vacation, and also we just so happened to pick our return back home to be on the day of daylight savings, which, coming from the mountain west to the Midwest, means that we actually jumped forward 2 hours. Oh, you guys, this morning was brutal. Oh, it felt so early, so we're all just a little bit woozy, so I apologize for dark circles, but I am back and I'm glad to be here, and I have a lot to talk about. Some really, really exciting stuff, and also some knowledge that I have gained that I didn't ever expect I would have, but I wanted to share some of that with you. So let's go quickly through the first part. We're going to start with a WIP update. I have quite a bit to show you. Then I'll talk a little bit about my plans for the rest of this month. And then I have a haul, and this is probably the most exciting haul I've had in a very long time, and you're going to see why. It's pretty spectacular, so get excited. And then I have a little bit of an explanation on cross-stitch fabric that I want to talk about. We're going to have a little discussion that was inspired by another stitcher's video, and I did some investigating and found out some really interesting information that you might want to know. If you already know it, then, you know, good for you. I didn't know it, so now I know it and I wanted to share it. So let's start with WIPs. First and foremost, in my last video you saw that I had almost finished her, but she is done now. This is Pearly Pig. Sorry for the hoop marks, I haven't ironed her yet. Pearly Pig is number 8 in the Brooks Books Advent Animals series, and so she is done. And I also finished, for the month of February, number 9, which is Kenny Kangaroo. And I did change a couple of things on Kenny. For some reason, unlike all of the previous Advent Animals, he was charted to have backstitching around all of his brown self. And I don't know if that was because the fabric that he was stitched on for the model stitch, maybe he kind of blended in a little bit. I'm not really sure why she did that, because none of the rest of them have it. If you look at Pearly Pig, I mean, she doesn't have any back stitching around her outside edge, and so I left it off. And I mean, I don't think he disappears into my fabric. I did keep the back stitching around his collar of his red shirt. It just helped it pop a little bit more, and I kept, you know, most of the back stitching otherwise, but I left off that back stitching all around his outside edge, and I love it. I love him. I think he's adorable. Those of you who live down in Australia, I mean, I know that like kangaroos are actually kind of dangerous from what I've heard, because they're really strong and they could like seriously hurt you, but I just want to hug him. I mean, he's just, I like his sunglasses too. I love how she did the back stitching to look like reflection in his sunglasses. I think that's so clever. So anyway, that's Kenny Kangaroo. Oh, one other thing I did change. He is the only one who was charted with, instead of white snow at the bottom that he's standing on, it was sand. It was like a tan sand color. And he also had like tan sand color, like sun sparkles all around him. But again, me being OCD and they all have to match, I decided that Kenny has come to the United States to celebrate the holidays with his friends in Vail. So they're skiing, and so he is actually standing on snow. He's just on vacation. But he did bring his, you know, suntan lotion, because you need suntan lotion when you ski, or you get sunburn, you know, from the snow. And he brought his little cocktail with him, and his sunglasses, because you also need sunglasses when you ski, or you'll go blind. So that's my explanation for why Kenny is standing on snow. It's really just because I couldn't have one different from all the rest of them. So that's that. Those are my Advent animals. Next was Save the Stitches, and I did manage to finish my goal for February, which was to get blocks 3 and 4 done. So you can see here, I'm going to attempt to hold this up. I had blocks 1 and blocks 2 done. I finished block 3 and I finished block 4, which is this row of like motifs at the bottom. And as always, you can see well, you maybe can see some of the metallic in there. Anything that's not black is metallic. There's gold, silver, and copper in there. Loved it, still really enjoy it. My favorite one so far, my favorite fill pattern is actually this one in the top left corner. I think that is so pretty. And my favorite motif is this one. I don't know why. I just love the floral look, and it's almost like a wreath of flowers or something. I don't know. I think it's beautiful. With regards to this piece, I came to the realization in February that I bit off a little more than I could chew, trying to do 2 Advent animals every month and 2 blocks of Save the Stitches every month, because it left it left not enough time for me to work on other things for my taste. I wanted to be able to work on more of my projects. So I was really honest with myself, and I thought, okay, you know what? Of those 2, which is the one that I really want to get done this year? And it's the Brooks books. I really want to get these done for our Advent calendar this Christmas. So until further notice, this is no longer a monthly WIP. I will continue working on this. I still love it, and I'm still going to keep working on it, but I'm not going to hold myself to the 2 blocks every month, because it was just too much with trying to get 2 of these done and wanting to work on other things and start new things. So that one is no longer a monthly WIP, but I will continue working on it as the mood strikes me. But these I will continue to get 2 done a month, which I need to get booking on March because I haven't even started March's, but they only take me a couple of days, so I know I can still get them done. The next WIP is my Easter eggs, I'm calling them. This is my vintage eggs piece by the Prairie Schooler. Last time you saw it, I had 3.5 done. So I had these 3 done, and then I had just started him, and he is finished now. Easter Bunny says Happy Easter. And I have also finished number 5 and number 6. Number 5 is the sheep, and number 6 is this vase with flowers, which looks very folk art to me. It looks very Ukrainian, like the Ukrainian Easter eggs, the Pisanki eggs. But anyway, the only thing I changed on these is they had these numbers around the sheep. By the way, I'm pretty sure it's like you're counting sheep as they jump over the fence. Isn't that cute? All of these numbers that are around 4, 5, 6 that are around the sheep, they had charted in like 2 or 3 different colors, and me being, you know, attracted to color, I just decided to go ahead and do all different colors. So these are all colors that, you know, are found in this collection, but I went ahead and made every number a different color, so it brightened it up a little bit because there's so much white in this one. So I changed that, and you can see I've just started number 7. That is E, E, and part of a P. It's going to say peep because it's a bunch of chickens and chicks. So I have just barely started number 7. My goal, I'll talk about this later, but my goal is to get these done by Easter. So I only have 2 more to go. So that is that WIP. And coming along nicely on that. Just to remind you, I'm stitching this on 18 count black Aida. And I'm actually really liking it. I don't usually like Aida, but it's a Zweigart Aida. And it's a lot better than some of the other Aidas I've worked on. It's a lot softer and nicer to work on. But anyway, more on that later. That's a gentle hint. This is my only new start for the month, and it is not a finish yet, but I decided to go ahead and go back to Operation Hardanger. Sorry, I just shook you. Ooh. I'm in a new space, and so this is a little bit different setup than I usually have. I apologize for shaking you. I went back to Operation Hardanger 2016, and I started another piece of Hardanger. This is just in a nice dark green. That's how much I have done, you can see I only have a tiny bit left right here of the blanket stitch or the buttonhole stitch around the edge. And then after that is done, I need to go back and do some eyelets and some other things before I cut, and then do the needle weaving. So you guys will see more of that probably next month. I think I'll get that done this month. So that is that, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. This is actually from one of those Hardanger books I bought that I showed a couple videos ago. This is from the second one, Suncatchers 2 in Hardanger embroidery, and I am working on this one, this pink one. I'll try to get up a little closer so you can see. This one has some really cool needle weaving that I haven't done yet. I believe they are called adjoining wrap. At least that's what they call it in this book, an adjoining wrap. And it might be too, let me see if I can show this to you without showing you the pattern. Do you see how this needle weaving is different? It creates almost kind of like a little triangle in the needle weaving. So anyway, that's part of the reason I picked it, because it had eyelets, which I haven't done in Hardanger. I've done eyelets and other things. Eyelets, and then this kind of new adjoining wrap thing. So that is that, and that's all my WIPs for this month. Yay! I didn't get to work anymore on Harry Potter. I just didn't have time with trying to get my Brooks Books Advent Animals and my blocks and Save the Stitches done, and then traveling. I got almost no stitching done last week because we were on vacation and it was wedding week. So there were things every night, and yeah, too busy. Plans for March. Like I said, I want to get my next two Brooks Books Advent Animals done, and that is number 10 and number 11. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. I have notes in my lap, which is why I keep looking down. And that will be Sheila Sheep is number 10, and I believe Fitzwilliam Frog is number 11. So I will try to get those guys done this month by the end of March. So I really only, it's the 14th today, so I only have 2 weeks, but I can do it. So we'll do that. The other thing I want to try and finish is I want to try and finish my my egg WIP so that I can, you know, have those done maybe by Easter. Oh, it's getting a little close now. I wasn't planning, I didn't really think about that, losing that week for the wedding, and I'm not entirely sure I'll be able to get them fully finished. I think I could probably get the stitching done. Getting them fully finished to like actually hang on the Easter tree is debatable, because now I only have 11 days until Easter. So we'll see about that, but I'd like to at least get the stitching done. I want to finish that piece of Hardanger that I just started. And then the last thing that I'd like to do this month, and I just don't know if there's going to be enough time, it's an Easter project, and it would be a new start, but it's adorable. I don't have a picture to show you because it's an online pattern and it's one I haven't purchased yet, and it's from Satsuma Street, and I love Satsuma Street. I've never stitched anything of theirs. I think they're beautiful. But Jennifer Hasler, I don't know how many of you follow her on FlossTube. She makes videos, and she did a recent video where she showed a piece called Sweet Spring by Satsuma Street, and it's adorable. I died. I had never seen it before. I don't know if it's a new one or if I just haven't seen it when I've looked at Satsuma Street's patterns online, but it's a little bunny rabbit in like a little garden, and the sun's out and there's like little vegetables all around. It's very Eastery, springy, and it's Satsuma Street, so it's all very bright and colorful and a little bit folk art, a little bit countrified, which is totally my style. And it's adorable. I don't really have that much cross-stitch Easter stuff. I mean, these eggs are like the first thing I've ever done. And she showed that in her video, and it was literally like a, huh, I need to stitch that. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So I'm going to insert a picture here. And it's adorable. So I would really like to go ahead and download that pattern and maybe at least start it this month. Maybe it will get moved into April because it's still springtime. Even after Easter's over, it's still springtime. So yeah, that's my other plan for March that I would really, or March and April, that I would really like to do. So that's it for my plans. Next, no, that's it. Yeah, so that's my WIPs, that's my finishes, that's my one new start with the Hardanger, my plans. Let's go to this amazing haul. And I'm going to try and do this quickly because I could probably wax poetic about this for hours, but I'm not going to. The first part of this haul has 3 parts. The first part has to do with Diane at Mondot Stitches. Posted a video. It wasn't her most recent. I think it was the one before that. I can't remember. But she does a lot of the elegant ladies, you know, the Mirabilias, the Nora Corbetts, the Lavender and Lace. She does a lot of those. And she was talking about how, you know, as many of the Mirabilias as she does, her favorite designer is actually still Marilyn Levitt Emblem, who's the designer behind Lavender and Lace, and also Told in a Garden, and Lavender and Lace, Told in a Garden. There's one more. Butternut Road? Butternut Road, I think. Anyway, she's the designer behind the Lavender and Lace designs, and Diane mentioned that she is her all-time favorite designer. As much as she loves Nora Corbett's, and by the way, they're mother and daughter, Marilyn and Nora Corbett. But anyway, as much as she loves Nora's designs, Marilyn is still her favorite designer. And unfortunately, Marilyn has passed away. But when she said that, it kind of dawned on me that I've never really felt the urge to stitch any Mirabilias. There are some that I think are absolutely gorgeous, and I would love to someday stitch them. But they're kind of a distant goal because they're huge, first of all, and I know she has smaller ones like the fairies, the Nora Corbett fairies and stuff, but they're pretty big and they're kind of expensive. There's lots of specialty threads, lots of metallics, lots of beads, and I just have never felt the urge to do them. However, I realized that I am not as familiar with Lavender and Lace as I am with Mirabilias. I know not all, I shouldn't say all. I know probably 95% of the Mirabilias from seeing all of your videos and looking on 123 Stitch. But I decided to go look at some Lavender and Lace patterns. And I found some that I like. And I bought my first Elegant Lady. And then also 2 more angels. I kind of went a little crazy. So I bought my first Elegant Lady. And she's a Lavender and Lace. And she's beautiful. And she is called, oh, for heaven's sake, now it's going to escape me. Oh, she's called The Bride. And this is Lavender and Lace number 9. And I've already opened the package because I wanted to look at the pattern, but this is The Bride. Sorry about the reflection. Oh my word, could you die? Look at that dress. Just look at it. Oh my word, she's so beautiful. I saw her, and Lavender and Lace has a couple different like wedding theme, bride themed ones. Some of them have kind of scary faces. But she is beautiful, and she's just in profile. Her face is lovely, and that dress. Oh my word. I don't know how well you can tell, but all of that like ruffly bit, that's all flowers. Her dress is all like caught up with flowers. And I have been watching a new floss tuber recently. And so I'm going to put in a plug for her because she's amazing. And if you haven't found her yet, you're missing out. Her floss tube channel is KowgirlKate Paints Aplenty or something like that. KowgirlKate. If you search KowgirlKate, you'll find her. And it's Cowgirl with a K, K-O-W, KowgirlKate. And she's newer. She's just been posting videos since January. And you guys, she is the queen of, sorry, there's my timer. I don't know if you can hear that. She is the queen of alterations and conversions. If you like Lavender and Lace, the Celtic series, the Celtic Winter, Celtic Autumn, all those Celtic ladies, if you like that series, she's got like 8 on the go and she's converted them. She has like an Ireland conversion and a Scotland conversion where she's added a freaking horse standing behind the Celtic lady. She designed it herself. She's amazing. One of my favorites is she converted one of the Celtic ladies. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been Celtic Winter. Anyway, she converted that one, changed the colors of the dress, gave her a headpiece, and turned her into Arwen from Lord of the Rings in the last sequence with the crowning of the king, of the crowning of Aragorn, his coronation. And, you know, they see each other and they smash kiss, you know, so excited to see each other. She added Aragorn. So she's got Arwen, like the Celtic lady as Arwen, in that bright limey green white dress. And she added Aragorn standing where, you guys, she's amazing. So go find KowgirlKate. But anyway, I've been watching her and I'm thinking about maybe converting her. Removing all of this. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that veil stuff? It's just like half stitches and beads, I'm pretty sure, that make up her veil. I'm gonna, well, I haven't decided entirely. I might remove that and then change the colors of her dress. So she's not a bride, she's just an elegant lady, and I can do some kind of beautiful, bold, bright color, maybe like a dark sapphire blue, or, you know, I don't know. I'm thinking about it because she's amazing. She's gorgeous. Yay. And then I bought 2 more. You guys know I have a little bit of an obsession with American history and Americana. And Lavender and Lace has this one called The Angel of Freedom. And she's in red, white, and blue. And she's actually one of a set. She actually goes along with Angel of Light. And so you get them together and they look at each other. Angel of Freedom and Angel of Light. So I bought those. That was a little bit more of an impulse buy, but I love them. I'm not sorry about it at all. My one beef with these is that she's added like a little village at the bottom that the angels are flying over the top of. And on this one particularly, because she's carrying this wreath that has bells hanging from it, and it just straight up looks like she's a Christmas angel. Straight up looks like she's flying over a village on Christmas Eve, holding a wreath with bells, and then there's a candle. It just feels a little Christmassy. So I think I'm going to change some things. I think I'm going to leave out the village. I'm going to change the colors on the Angel of Light to actually mirror the Angel of Freedom. You can see she's wearing a blue dress with red sash, and I'm going to change her colors so that she's wearing a red dress with a blue sash, so that they're both red, white, and blue, because, you know, I'm an American history nut. And that way they kind of go together, and Angel of Light and Angel of Freedom. I think it'll be a little more obvious that it's supposed to be like America-y. America. Sorry. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, those are my other Lavender and Lace. So these are my first ever elegant ladies, and I love them. I'm really excited. This leads me to the most amazing haul. That wasn't even the most amazing part. Are you really excited? Because that's crazy. That's amazing in and of itself. It was really fun. By the way, I found these on eBay. I looked at them on 123 Stitch, which is where I get a lot of my stuff, and it was just a little more than I wanted to spend, and so I hopped on eBay and I found them for a steal. Man, eBay's awesome. Which leads me right into my next haul. You hear that? Okay, so here's the story. I've said in previous videos, and you guys know, that when I buy a pattern, I like to kit it up. And part of the reason these Lavender and Laces appealed to me so much is that there's very little specialty flosses or anything needed. I think the angels need some gold metallic. Got plenty of that. And the lavender, or the bride needs some white beads. And that's it. Love that. So they'll be not as expensive as a lot of those elegant ladies can be. But I do like to kit up my projects when I buy a new pattern. I don't like to just have a big stash of patterns without having the stuff to start them if I get the urge. So I started looking for fabric. And I looked on 123 Stitch, and I looked on, you know, other sites. I even toyed very briefly with the idea of trying on the angels with trying a hand-dyed. Guys, I can't do it. I went on the fabric viewer and I tried to find a really subtle hand-dyed fabric that just looked kind of like old parchment. I thought that would look cool. They were all too intense for me. I'm just not, sorry, my computer's gonna fall off the couch. I'm just not a hand-dyed fabric person. I've tried to be, because the fabrics are gorgeous and you guys show them and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. But it's just not my style. Anyway, so I briefly toyed with that. But then I started looking for fabric, and because I had just had such marvelous success finding, you know, patterns on eBay for a great price, I decided to look on eBay. eBay is dangerous. It's the black hole of everything. You guys know it can be addicting and really dangerous. But in this one instance, I found something on eBay that is hands down the most amazing thing I've ever found on eBay. It was an auction, which I don't usually do auctions. I usually do the buy it nows. Sorry, the light is changing because you can see it's getting dark outside. So sorry if I start to look ghostly. I don't usually do auctions. I usually just do the buy it now because I'm too neurotic and tense and anxiety ridden to do auctions. But this was an auction, and this one I committed to, and I won it. And I'm gonna show it, and I hope that none of you watching were the people I was bidding against. I thought about that and like, I won this amazing auction, and then someone who's watching my video was like, yeah, I was trying to bid against you and I lost that amazing auction. So I hope that's not the case. I hope none of you were bidding on this. I found someone must have either been cleaning out old inventory at a local needle workshop or something, or they had inherited this in an estate sale, or I don't know what. But I found on eBay and won a stack this big of unopened packages of Zweigart cross-stitch fabric. Look at this. Okay, are you ready? This is 56 pieces of cross-stitch fabric. Ridiculous. I know, it's ridiculous, but it's so exciting. Here's why it's exciting. Only one package out of the 56 is Aida. The rest is all linen and even weave. Let that sink in for a moment. Also, all of the colors are lovely neutrals. There's no bright, weird colors. They're all whites, creams, ivories, mushroom. Carolyn Mazzio, there's mushroom Lugana in here. Mushroom, tans. I think there's one pewter, which is a lovely kind of blue-gray. They're all neutrals. Who stitches all their stuff on neutrals? Me. What else? Oh, let's talk a little bit about the price. It was a bargain. You see this? 56 pieces. They're all approximately 18 by 15, 18 by 14. So they're not enormous pieces, but they're plenty big for about 95% of the stuff I stitch. Like, these will all fit on it. I already did the calculations. These will all fit. With, I think it's the bride, there's only going to be about 2 inches of border around her, so I might pull a Trisha the left-handed stitcher and sew on some scrap fabric on all 4 sides, so it fits in my Q-snaps a little easier, but she will fit with plenty of space for framing on that size. So they're a great size. And let's talk about the price. I spent on these 56 pieces of fabric approximately $1.72 per piece of fabric. $1.72. In pounds, that's like 1 pound per piece of fabric. Linen, Lugana, even weaves. You guys, it's amazing. I was so unbelievably excited about this, and I was such a nervous wreck as I was waiting for that auction to end. I'm like sitting there biting my nails, watching the time tick down, and then I won it, and it was thrilling. It was so exciting. So obviously, I'm not going to go through this entire stack, but I will briefly show you what came in it because it's really exciting. Here's the one piece of Aida. It's an 18 count, which is great. I'll use 18 count, and it's just an ivory. It came with 2 packs of Hardanger fabric. I'm doing Operation Hardanger 2016 this year, so got 2 packs of Hardanger, and then the rest is all even weaves and linens. There's a whole bunch of 25 count Lugana in here, a couple packs of white, a couple packs of ivory, a cream, lots of mushroom. I think there was like 6 packs of mushroom. Let's see. Gotta put some down. Khaki, that's a pretty color. It's almost a mushroom, but it's a little warmer. Then after the 25 count Lugana, I put these in order of count from low to high. So next is a 27 count, and this is a fabric called Linda, and it's 100% cotton, even weave, and the closest thing I can think of, it's almost like Monaco from Charles Craft, that 100% Monaco even weave. It looks very nice. It's in a 27 count, so similar to a 28 count size. Got a couple packs of white and 1 pack of ivory in that 27 count Linda. Then we have a 28 count Brittany, which Brittany is just the name that Zweigart gives Lugana in any count that's not 25. 25 count, they call Lugana. It's exactly the same fabric, it's Lugana, but since it's a 28 count, they call it Brittany. But that's what it is. You can find it on their website. So we got a couple packs of ivory in 28 count. We got this really dark khaki called New Khaki in Brittany. That's really pretty. Here's the pewter one. It's kind of a blue-gray. It's really pretty. There's a couple packs of, this is interesting. This is called Quaker cloth. And it's a linen cotton blend. So it has the slubs. I'm going to try and put that up. You can see it has the slubs like linen does, but it's blended with cotton, which makes it less prone to wrinkling and a little less slippery. So from what I've heard from the few people I've talked to who have used it, they all love it. So this is 28 count Quaker cloth, and I got a couple packs of white and a couple packs of cream in this Quaker cloth. So that's pretty cool, 28 count. 30 count Lugana, which this is older stock. This is Zweigart's older packaging, so clearly they were cleaning out old inventory. The pieces I've opened are all 100% perfect. There's nothing wrong with them that they're old. They're not brittle. They're not turning like yellow on the edges. I think they must have used acid-free packaging because it's all in perfect condition. But this is older, and I think this is 30 count Lugana, which back then was called Murano, but I think Zweigart has changed now. I don't think they sell a 30 count Lugana anymore. I'm pretty sure it's now 32 count, and they call that Murano now, but this is 30 count Lugana called Murano, and there's some white and cream in that one. Here is some, oh, that was all the even weaves. Now we're going into straight up linens. This is 100% linen. We have a couple pieces of Dublin linen, which is something that's new to me, and that is a 25 count linen. And we have some white, some cream, and a sand color, a nice warm sand color in that 25 count Dublin linen. And I was kind of worried initially about stitching on 25 count over 2. I thought it would be really big. It's not. It's really not all that different from a 28 count. It's not that much bigger. It seems like it should be a lot bigger, but it's not. So I'm totally going to stitch on this over 2, and I think it'll be beautiful. That's the Dublin linen. Here's a whole heap of Belfast linen, 32 count, which is my favorite. There was no Cashel linen in this lot, but I actually prefer 32 count, so that wasn't a problem for me. That might have been a problem for someone else. But so we got a whole bunch of 32 count Belfast, and we got some white, an antique white, some cream, again this like summer khaki. It's a nice cool khaki color, or khaki. Is that how you guys say it? Khaki down in Australia. And then one piece of dirty, the color dirty linen in that Belfast linen. And then last but not least, we have a bunch of 36 count linen, Edinburgh linen, which is a little intimidating because it's very, very, very small. But that's 36 count Edinburgh linen. And I got that in white, and 1 cream. So 4 packages of white and 1 package of cream. You guys, could you die? My husband was laughing at me. Look at that. I just want to hug it. My husband was laughing at me when it came because I was so ridiculously excited. It was like a small child on Christmas morning. All I wanted to do was unwrap it all and pull it all out and just like look at it and like stroke it fondly and organize it and look at all the color. It was ridiculous. But that was my amazing eBay haul. $1.72 a piece. Belfast linen for $1.72. So now I have to find all this, now I've got to find things to stitch on it because I have all this fabric. I'm not usually a stasher. I don't like buy just things if I don't have a plan for them. So this is really unlike me, but I just couldn't pass that up. That was too ridiculously good of a deal to pass that up. So that was my amazing eBay haul. The last part of my haul is very boring, but I was in Utah and the Hobby Lobbies out there are much better stocked than they are out here. So I bought some more of their really cute Yarnology floss bobbins that are pretty. They're so cute. Just 25 of the little dress form ones and 25 of the black with roses. And then I saw the legendary Low-Ran needle threader, which I am a floss licker. I will be a floss licker till I die. Sorry, I don't know. I will never give it up. I know people think it's gross, but it works for me. But you can't do that with metallics. It doesn't help. And so I do have to use a needle threader for my metallics, and my stupid little cheapo wire needle threader is just like, I'm surprised it hasn't broken yet, but it's so like bent out of shape. So I'm gonna give this one a try. People seem to love this one, so it's made by Low-Ran, like I said. It's a funny looking needle threader, but we're gonna give it a whirl. So that's my haul. Yay! Lavender and lace patterns, an amazing eBay fabric haul, and some stuff from Hobby Lobby. So there you go. Oh, I'm already at 36 minutes. Okay, I will try to make this as brief as possible, but this is my discovery about cross-stitch fabric. Part of it was brought on by this amazing haul. I wanted to understand all of these different names that Zweigart had for all these different fabrics. Like, you know, that the fact that they named all their different counts of Lugana was something that I knew that's kind of the case over in the UK, but we don't see that here in the US. It's just called Lugana. And there's so many names of things. And so I started doing some investigating. And then Courtney ECR, is it ECR or ECK? I can never remember. I'm so sorry, Courtney. I'll link her. I'll link everybody I've mentioned today in the description box. Courtney was showing her tutorial. She just posted a tutorial about making her scroll frame rods. She makes them herself and she staples on Ada and then she bastes her project fabric on. And she was talking about how she went to her local needle workshop and bought a piece of fabric and she wasn't sure what it was. She wasn't sure if it was Lugana or Jobelin. It was an even weave and it was a cotton blend. And she wasn't sure which one it was, and then she went on 1, 2, 3 stitch and she thought that she figured out that it was a piece of Lugana from the manufacturer Wischelt. And I sat there for a second and I was like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure Lugana is only manufactured by Zweigart. I'm pretty sure Zweigart, you know, Zweigart and Wischelt are like the two biggest cross-stitch fabric manufacturers. Wischelt is also Perman. So if you've ever bought linen from Perman of Copenhagen, that's the same company. That's Wischelt. And then here in the USA, we have Charles Craft, which is owned by DMC. And Charles Craft is, they manufacture fabrics as well. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. I was pretty sure that Lugana is only manufactured by Zweigart. Well, then I went and looked on 1, 2, 3 Stitch and I saw she was right. It was labeled as Lugana by the manufacturer Wischelt. And I was like, oh, okay. So I wrote back again saying, oh, looks like I was wrong. It looks like Wischelt does actually make a Lugana, so that may be what you have. And I just told her to look for, you know how all of... Sorry for the interruption. Someone came home. And you have this nice straight shot of my front door, so I thought I should stop and restart. And the light is really not good anymore, so sorry. I look very ghostly. I told her to look for the orange thread in the selvage. If you didn't already know this, I think a lot of people know this, but if you didn't, if you have a piece of fabric and it has orange thread in the selvage, whether it's Ada, linen, even weave, it doesn't matter what kind of fabric it is. If there's orange thread in the selvage, you can know that that is a Zweigart fabric. They put that orange thread in all of their fabrics. And this is all Zweigart brand, which happens to be my favorite, but I mean, they're all great. So I told her, I went and looked and I was like, I wrote back a second time and I was like, well, it might be Wischelt. So if there's no orange thread, then maybe it is a Lugana. It's just made by Wischelt. Anyway, and then I started doing more investigating, and I was looking and looking and looking, and I couldn't figure out if Wishelt manufactured a Lugana. I didn't think they did, and yet it said on 123 Stitch that there was Lugana from the manufacturer Wishelt, and I was like, okay. And then I went really crazy, and I emailed Wishelt. I emailed their official email account to ask them. I said, because they had listed on their site, even on the Wishelt site, they had listed Lugana for sale, and it didn't say it was by any other manufacturer. So I was like, okay, I need answers. I need answers. So I emailed Wishelt, and they got back to me in like an hour. They were super on the ball. So rock on, Wishelt. You guys are awesome customer service. They emailed me back, and it is true, in fact, that all Lugana is manufactured by Zweigart. Wishelt does not, I repeat, not manufacture a Lugana. So, if you have a piece of fabric that is listed as being Lugana, it has to be Zweigart brand. Also, all Lugana is 52% cotton, 48% rayon, okay? If it says on a site, sorry, I'm going to pull this up on my computer because I have a little thing that I found that I'm going to share with you. If it says that it is Lugana from the manufacturer Wishelt, the best I can figure out is that Wishelt purchases Lugana from Zweigart and then dyes it to their own proprietary colors. So if you buy a piece of fabric from 123 Stitch, for example, and it says that it's made, if it's a Lugana, and it says that it's from Wishelt, it's probably a color that Wishelt dyes, but the fabric will still have that orange selvage. It's still made by Zweigart. So then I was like, okay, so what about the rest of Even Weaves? How does that all break down? So here's the grand summary of what I discovered. And I'm going to give you guys this link. I found this, there's an LNS in Alameda, California called Needle in a Haystack. And they have a industry fabric list that it's a PDF and you can download it. And it's like comprehensive. It gives you every kind of needlework fabric that Zweigart, Wishelt, and even a few other ones manufactures. So here's the final say on this. All Lugana is Zweigart. All Jobelin, which is another cotton rayon blend, I believe it's 51% cotton and 49% rayon. All Jobelin, if it's a Jobelin, it's Wishelt. Zweigart does not make a Jobelin. That is a Wishelt fabric, okay? Just to confuse you even more, Zweigart makes another cotton rayon blend from Lugana, and it's called Jaslyn. So if you've ever stitched on Jaslyn, that's Zweigart. Let's recap. Lugana and Jaslyn are always made by Zweigart. Wishelt does not manufacture those fabrics. Jobelin is always manufactured by Wishelt. Zweigart does not make that fabric. Are we clear? I know, right? Seriously, go look up this fabric chart because it's amazing. I'm looking at it now. So, Lugana, made by Zweigart, in the United States is usually just called Lugana, but if you buy it overseas or from somewhere else, sometimes it's called different things. You saw 25 count is called Lugana, 28 count is called Brittany, but it's still Lugana. So if you buy like a hand-dyed fabric from someplace and it's listed as 28 count Brittany, it's just Lugana. It's just, that's what they call it in the UK and other places. 32 count is called Murano, and 36 count, I don't think they make a 36 count. I think that's it. Cross your fingers. So going along with that, as I was looking at these things, let's talk about linen for a second. People are always throwing out the names, you know, Cashel linen, Belfast linen, you know, all that stuff. Those names, by the way, it is pronounced Cashel, and I know that because Cashel is a place in Ireland, and there's a castle there, and we went to visit it. The Rock of Cashel, it's called. So it is pronounced Cashel, I'm fairly certain. those names, Cashel, Belfast, Edinburgh, Dublin, those are just proprietary names that Zweigart gives their linen dependent on what count it is. So Zweigart linen, that's 25 count, is always called Dublin linen. Zweigart linen that is 28 count is always called Cashel linen. 32 count is Belfast. 36 count is Edinburgh. 40 count is Newcastle, and I think they even have a 50 count. I don't know who'd be crazy enough to stitch on 50 count. Let's see. Linen. Edinburgh. Newcastle. Newcastle linen is 40 count. There it is. 50 count linen is called Kingston linen. Okay. So if you ever hear someone say, this is a 28 count Cashel linen from Wischelt, they're wrong. It's exactly the same thing as Cashel linen, but if it's not Zweigart brand, it's not technically Cashel linen. That's a name that Zweigart owns that they assign to those different counts of fabric. So if you ever wanted to know where those strange names come from that people throw on, what is Cashel linen? What is Belfast linen? All my linen just says linen. It's just linen. It's just then if it's called Cashel linen, you can know it's made by Zweigart because that's the names they give their different counts of linen. Other interesting fact, if you have ever stitched on Monaco, which is it only comes in 28 count, and it's a 100% cotton. This is Monaco. I'm using it for my Amish Life series. I finished one part of the 3, but it's 100% cotton even weave. This is only manufactured by Charles Craft here in the United States. Zweigart and Wischelt do not manufacture Monaco. So again, you can know that Monaco is a 100% cotton even weave that is manufactured by Charles Craft, and it's great. I love it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There are very, very slight subtle differences between, you know, Zweigart linen and Wischelt linen and Charles Craft linen, because Charles Craft also does a linen. Some people say that, you know, Wischelt, the threads are a little plumper, with Zweigart they're a little finer. I don't know if there's that big a difference. I have also stitched on Lugana and Jobelin, which are, you know, the Zweigart Lugana and the Wischelt Jobelin, and they are slightly different, but again, they're both beautiful fabrics to stitch on. There's really, one is not necessarily better than the other. I just have more experience with Zweigart fabrics. Most of the fabrics I stitch on have that little orange selvage, and our Zweigart brand. And you know, the few times that I do stitch on Ada, I think this might be my first time stitching, so I can't speak, stitching on a Zweigart Ada with the orange selvage, and it's fantastic. So, you know, I don't know, maybe do some investigating. Learn a little bit more about this awesome art form and craft that we love so much. Learn a little bit about these fabric manufacturers, because it's been really interesting to me to learn about these different manufacturers and why things are called what they are and what manufacturers make what kind of fabric. So there you go, Courtney. I'm sorry I was so confused when I was responding to your video, but now we can know that if it's a Lugana, it must be Zweigart. And if it's Zweigart, it must be a Lugana, okay? Because Zweigart does not make Jobelin, and Wischelt does not make Lugana. So there you go. If there is an orange selvage on that fabric, it is Lugana. If there's not, it's Jobelin. There you go. Maybe that solves some mysteries for you guys, but that was my ridiculous tag at the end of this video of my adventures in learning about cross-stitch fabric. I will leave a link down below for this this industry fabric list that I've been talking about. You can find it at www.needlestack, all one word, needlestack.com/fabric. Or I'll just link it down below and you can go see what I'm talking about. It's quite impressive. They have an entire 2 pages of a PDF just listing all of the different fabrics that are in the industry that are made by different manufacturers. So that's it. Sorry this is another long one, but God had a lot of stuff to talk about and to show you some really awesome hauls, some interesting new facts we're learning about cross-stitch fabric. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and tell me how excited you are about this, because I'm so ridiculously excited that it's kind of stupid. And so my husband thinks I'm crazy. So please, will you celebrate with me? Because I know you guys will understand how cool that is. To have found this. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Yeah, that's it. I will catch you guys probably sometime in April, either early April, or I might hit you again around the middle of the month, because that seems to be the cycle that I'm on now. But if I have something really cool to tell you, I might throw up a video a little bit sooner. Take care, everyone. Happy stitching, and happy Easter if you celebrate Easter. If you're Catholic, then I hope Lent is going well. I am not Catholic, but I still celebrate Lent because I went to Catholic school for a few years when I was growing up. And so this year for Lent, I gave up Facebook, which has been wonderful and also a little bit sad. I've missed seeing some of you post on Facebook, on those Facebook groups, and I have no idea what's going on in those groups right now. But it's been a little bit refreshing to get away from Facebook for the last month. So I have a few more weeks of that until Lent is over. But yeah, I'll see you guys really soon, and happy stitching, and take care, okay guys? Bye!